Captain, before we step onto this harmony island, tell me, what does agree make you feel when it means sharing the same opinion, reaching a decision together, and matching well without conflict? Meaning 1. To have the same opinion, to think the same. Used when two or more people share a view or belief. Example: the crew agreed that the calm route was safer. Common use: agree with someone, agree that, agree on an idea. Agree on the route, meaning 2, to accept or decide together, to make an arrangement. Used when people reach a decision, accept terms, or make a plan as a group. Example: they agreed to meet at sunrise by the dock. Common use: agree to do, agree to terms, agree on a time. Agreed time, sunrise, meaning 3, to match, to fit well, to be in harmony. Used when things go well together or are compatible. Style, colours, plans, or facts. Example: the compass and the stars agreed tonight. Common use: agree with, agree well. Facts: agree. Agree perfectly. Agree changes meaning with its partner. Agree with a person. Agree to an action. Agree on a plan. That little word after it does a lot of work. Lock in the harmony, Captain. Carry agree for shared opinions, joint decisions, and clean matches that keep the voyage smooth as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this life signal island, tell me, what does alive make you feel when it means living and not dead, full of energy and activity, and sharply aware of danger around you? Meaning 1, living, not dead. Used to say a person, animal, or plant is still living. Example: after the storm, the crew was relieved to find the sailor alive. Common use: be alive, stay alive, found alive. Alive, meaning 2, full of energy, lively, feeling active. Used when someone or something feels energetic, excited, or full of movement. Example: the harbour felt alive during the festival night. Common use: feel alive, come alive, keep something alive. Feel alive, meaning 3, still active, continuing to exist or work. Used for traditions, stories, ideas, or systems that continue and remain present. Example: old sea legends are still alive in this village. Common use: keep a tradition alive, legends alive, memories alive. Legends alive. Alive can describe life itself, the feeling of lively energy or sharp awareness. The words around it usually reveal which one you mean. Stay tuned to every signal, Captain. Carry alive for surviving the rough seas, bringing energy to the deck, and staying alert when the wind turns as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this cost and choice island, tell me, what does afford make you feel when it means having enough money, being able to spare time or effort, and providing something useful in a formal sense? Meaning 1. To have enough money to pay for something. Used when you can pay the cost of something. Example: they couldn't afford a new sail this season. Common use: afford it, afford a trip, can't afford. Can't afford, meaning 2. To have enough time, energy or resources for something. Used when you have enough capacity, not only money, to do something. Example: we can't afford to lose daylight before reaching the bay. Common use: afford to wait, afford to rest, can't afford to miss. Can't afford to wait, meaning 3. To be able to risk or allow something, not suffer serious consequences. Used when a mistake or delay would be too costly or dangerous, so you say you cannot allow it. Example: in these waters, the crew can't afford mistakes. Common use: can't afford a mistake, can't afford delays, can't afford failure. Can't afford mistakes. Afford is common with 2 patterns: afford something and afford to do something. In formal writing, it can also mean provide. Choose wisely with the wind at your back, Captain. Carry afford for budget decisions, time you cannot spare, and the advantages a place or moment can provide as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this change with the wind island, tell me, what does adapt make you feel when it means adjusting to new conditions, changing something to fit a new purpose, and surviving by evolving over time? Meaning 1. To adjust to new conditions or a new situation. Used when a person or group changes behavior to fit a new environment. Example: the crew adapted quickly to the sudden cold winds. Common use: adapt to change, adapt quickly, adapt to a new place. Adapt to cold, meaning 2. To change something to fit a new use or situation. Used when you modify a thing, plan or method so it works in a different context. Example: they adapted the old map for modern navigation. Common use: adapt a plan, adapt a story, adapt a tool. Adapt the map, meaning 3. To develop naturally over time to survive or work better. Used for living things and sometimes systems that change gradually to fit their environment. Example: island birds adapted to strong sea winds over generations. Common use: adapt over time, adapt to the environment, adapt for survival. Adapt for survival. Adapt is often followed by to for situations, And it can also take a direct object when you change something itself. Flow with the shift, Captain. Carry adapt for adjusting to conditions, reshaping tools and plans, and learning nature's way of surviving change as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this land measure island, tell me, what does acre make you feel when it points to a unit of area, a stretch of land counted in that unit, and a figurative sense of vastness? Meaning 1. A unit for measuring land area. Used to measure land, especially farms and large properties. Example: they bought 10 acres of land near the harbour. Common use: an acre of land, 10 acres, per acre. "10 acres", meaning 2, a very large area of something, poetic, visual. Used informally to mean a wide stretch, especially when describing nature. Example: acres of sand covered the island shore. Common use: acres of sand, acres of forest, acres of fields. Acres of sand, meaning 3, part of place names linked to fields or farmland. Used in some names of areas, farms or properties, often suggesting open land. Example: they anchored near a small bay called Seaview Acres. Common use: used in neighbourhood names, farm names, property names. Seaview Acres. Acre is still common in real estate and land talk in some countries, even when other metric units are used in daily life. Let the numbers shape the picture, Captain. Carry acre for measuring land, talking about property, and painting a sense of vast space when the sea feels endless as we sail to the next island.